Ages ago, I was listening to an interview that someone did with Craig Mullins. You might not know his name, but I'm guaranteeing you know his work. He's done a lot of sci-fi movie concept work on the backside and a lot of movie work in general. He was talking about when he finished art school, he loaded up the back of his truck with sketchbooks, with studies, with all the things he learned and did during college. And then he took it over the dump and got rid of all of it. And I remember the people interviewing him absolutely freaking out. How could he do this? How could this amazing artist who has done work on all these major films just throw out all of his early work? But for me, it made total sense. It was like he was saying, I already learned what I needed from that work. I don't need to keep it. I already have what I learned. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've opened a Photoshop document, made a huge painting, and then clicked X and didn't save it. And I don't freak out about it. I don't care. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, what I learned from doing it is still in my brain, it's still in my hand, and I can make it again if I need to. There are other times where I'll start a piece, and this happens a lot when I'm working traditionally, where I'll make a mistake or I'll do something that was definitely not what I intended. And I've heard from a lot of other people that when they're in that situation, they'll throw it out and start over. But for me, I look at that mistake and say, okay, what door does this open up for me now? What can I do based on the mistake that I just made? A lot of times it'll change the direction of the piece, but it'll oftentimes go in a much more interesting direction than I had originally been intending because I'm having to think on the fly and I'm having to change what I'm doing while I'm doing it. For me, it's never been about being precious and getting things right the first time. It's about learning from what I've made and then growing from there. Tomorrow, if I lost absolutely everything I have ever made, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I will not be freaking out because at the end of the day, I still have all the lessons that I learned from what I made and what I was able to create. There are a lot of people who work in all different other art forms that they don't have a tangible thing they can hold on to anyway. But it doesn't mean that they didn't learn those lessons to create something. That's why I like to work this way, why I like to throw out my art and I'm never precious about anything. But then again, that's also the reason that if you were to ask me to see my sketchbooks, you and I would both be out of luck. But that doesn't mean that I don't keep anything. When you are creating something and it really resonates with you, absolutely hang on to it and keep it. And if it's precious to you, then it's precious to you. That's what matters. Instead of thinking that everything is precious, you start to flip the script and now you start to see where you're really connecting with pieces that you've made and maybe a skill that you've learned along the way. And those things become important to you and special to you. So there's a picture on the wall that I did quite a few years ago. It was just a lesson in a class, but I really liked how it turned out. So I have it pinned up on a bulletin board kind of next to my drawing desk so I can see it and be inspired by it. If you are someone who does cling to your art a little bit too much maybe, and you're a little too precious with things sometimes, or you feel like you're getting to that point where you feel like everything has to be perfect and matter every single time. So if you're someone who tends to cling a bit too much to the things you make, maybe try giving my approach a try for a few days. When you create a painting, maybe create it knowing that at the end of the day, you're just going to rip it up and toss it out. And then it doesn't matter what mistakes you make or what changes you make, because it's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be something you learn from. Sometimes letting go is the thing that helps you move forward.